What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be discussing the future here a little bit. January 6th could be a defining day for the Colorado Buffs and Deion Sanders as the number one recruit out of the entire country. Number one quarterback and recruit for 2025 is set to make his announcements out of the top 7 schools. Probably already heard this name, Bryce Underwood. Now, 5-star quarterback, again, the number one recruit across all platforms for 2025. Don't forget, Anton Hill, he was committed not too long ago for 2025, but then when he decommitted, it was announced that he would be reclassifying if he were to commit. He has yet to commit still, so that's something to kind of keep your eyes peeled, but he obviously decommitted with the slew of other quarterbacks and commits, and everybody was scratching their head. I think we've kind of see why, how that played out in the transfer portal this offseason, but Bryce Underwood here, again, is set to commit. And not right now, I know he's leading the way. LSU is leading the way for him. We're going to talk about his top 7 schools here in just a moment. But I do want to discuss what this would mean for Coach Prime and why I also think Colorado is somehow sneakily involved with this. And my reason being is Coach Prime didn't make the splash like we thought he would come signing day, right? Jordan Seaton was the splash on Friday, but we already had that splash a few weeks prior to that, December 7th, when he announced that he committed to Colorado. That was the splash. And Coach Prime always gives us one. And we've gotten one for every single year now. Jordan Travis, Kermani, now Jordan Seaton. Bryce would be the 2025 big splash. And by splash, there'd be no more water left in the ocean because of how big of a splash this would be. Not only would it set the tone for the future, it would shut up all the haters saying that they're not building for the future because you just went and got the number one recruit for the country to lead the 2025 recruiting class, signing in January. Like, well, that's way too soon. It's soon, but we've talked about on the channel before. You want to get somebody like that, a quarterback, as soon as possible to help start building and putting pieces around him. This will get you wide receivers. This will allow you to get offensive linemen, running back, anybody, because they're seeing where it's headed. So a recruit like this could just change the altar of the path of where Colorado and Coach Prime is trying to head. Travis Hunter was the first little domino that allowed him to kind of, hey, let everybody know that we're here. This would say, we're serious. I think they've been kind of saying that already, but we're really shut everything down. Now, as of the top 7 teams of who's available, Penn State, I don't think they're a legitimate threat. Just fired their offensive coordinator. Really don't have this explosive offense that would fit somebody like a Bryce Underwood, that's a dual threat quarterback. You've got Michigan involved, which obviously you never know, but doesn't really fit, again, the scheme of Michigan. Michigan is a very ground and pound style type of offense. And Jim Harbaugh, there's been a lot of tell that he could be going to the NFL. That's something that's been in the works for the last few years. He was even searching last year to possibly go to the NFL. Then you've got Alabama. Alabama's always going to be in the mix. They've got 7 quarterbacks on staff currently. They just landed themselves a Julian Sayin, a top quarterback in this past cycle. So you're going in behind a pretty legitimate quarterback and going to be fighting for those spots. Alabama's been known to hold these quarterbacks and kind of build a little train for sure. But again, NIL is changing all of those things. Then you've got the likes of LSU. LSU is leading the way by a landslide right now. Everybody believes LSU is locked and loaded. Of course, with what Jaden Daniels was just able to do, he's going to be on the way out. They really don't have a future at quarterback right now. So it would be a nice little plug and play for Bryce Underwood playing in the SEC. Brian Kelly obviously showed what type of offense he's able to run. But again, Brian Kelly's future at LSU is more shaky than what people want to realize as well, too. So a lot of things that people point to Colorado and say, hey, Coach Prime's not going to be there forever. Michigan and LSU, the 2 leading schools at the moment, really don't have much ground or much stability either because of what could happen. The most school that has the most stability is Alabama, and Alabama, again, has a slew of 4 and 5 stars, always ready to rock and roll. I'm not saying this kid's afraid of competition, but if you're somebody like Bryce Underwood, understand, like, hey, I go to Colorado, make a really legitimate splash, go be competitive in the Big 12 teams. This is where, again, Coach Prime can start to make a move and make a big-time splash. Now, I know there's going to be some haters in here saying that I'm pumping sunshine and all these things because if you go look at 247, he's crystal balled to LSU. If you go look at On 3, he's leading the way. But I think we can all agree on, if you've been following this channel and following what Coach Prime does, these recruiting sites don't typically have a pulse on where these young men are going, especially if it is to Colorado. It's always Jordan Seaton, they're wrong. K. Michael, they're wrong. Both those guys, Colorado wasn't even on the map, okay? And I'm not saying this is the same boat for this here, Bryce Underwood, but it is something to keep in mind. And also, too, he visited during the Colorado State game with none other than Jordan Seaton. Jordan Seaton, we all know, we saw the interview with Coach Prime talking about how Jordan Seaton is actively recruiting these guys. So he has been there. And he also took a picture in front of the wall, this wall that we have seen time and time again now with all of these big-time guys coming to the transfer portal. the wall seems to be unstoppable. It's like the list, right? They take a photo in front of this wall, it's a damn near lock. From what we've seen on the internet, who knows? Maybe photos weren't posted, but now this photo was taken a little prior to that, but it is something to kind of keep in mind. Again, this is what we're doing here. We're trying to pick apart because I believe Coach Prime and the Buffs keep things so close and tight knit that you really don't know what's going to happen and what the next move is going to be. And again, a commit like this, son, I mean, it would be probably, I think, the closest to the highest rated player for Colorado of all time. Right now, they've got the 3 of the top 10, which we're going to have probably discuss that because that is something incredible, an incredible feat nonetheless. But again, a lot of hate on Coach Prime in the future of what he has at Colorado. You pull this thing off, y'all better buckle up because 2024 is going to be absolutely insane. Of course, we're going to be doing a live stream for that on the 6th. So keep your eyes peeled, but I want to know your thoughts. Give me your range of how you're feeling of the possibility of landing Bryce Underwood. Again, I'm not trying to pump sunshine and roses, just simply looking at, what could be, how this could play out. You've seen a lot of hype coming from the Colorado staff and the Colorado recruiting staff, just the excitement that's there. And a commit like this, again, we didn't get our big splash. Could this be the splash for 2024 or 5, right? And if that's the case, then again, you got another one for the last 3 years, 4 years now, a big time commit. But this one could be a program changing type of commit. And look, how can you not sell to Bryce Underwood? Look what Shedeur Sanders has been able to do. And I promise you, Shedeur Sanders is going to make a run at the Heisman next year. And if they're able to put together an offensive line and continue to recruit effectively on the offensive line, and he can show that we plugged and play here. Now, they're committing before those things, but if anything, Coach Prime, it can sell to Bryce. I said, look, I told you what I was going to do, and I went there and did it. If I get you, imagine what else we can do. It's a hell of a sales tactic, and I'm pretty sure he probably can sell a lot better than I can, but look what Shedeur did without a line. Once we get him a line, imagine what he's going to be able to do. It's going to be exciting stuff. It's going to be something interesting to watch, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Be sure to turn the bell on. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.